What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to another episode of the Transfer View. Good morning, happy Friday. Hope you've had a good week. Hope everyone's feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling happy, and looking forward to a good weekend. And if you've had a dodgy week, a bad week, then hopefully this little bit of hour that we're going to do now can help you feel better. And hopefully that the weekend that you got coming up is going to be good, man. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. Please do that. We are going to be talking about deadline day. It is deadline day for Sheikh Jassim. I tried it. Don't know if it come off. Hopefully it did. But he has set his deadline as today. We're expecting to hear more over the coming days. Mike Keegan going in on that as well. There's been a lot of talk about that. We're going to be talking about Daniel Levy refusing to sell Harry Kane to Manchester United. David Raya, 40 million price too high. We're going to talk about that. Manchester United not wanting to pay the 40 million price on David Raya's head from Brentford. Amrabat, Rice alternative. We're going to talk about that as well. And Chelsea wants £70 million for Mason Mount. Owen.
Oh, look at you, Carve Solico in the morning as well.
Owen.
Mason Mount.
Sheikh Jassim deadline day.
Yes. It's my turn to do a Carve. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Today is deadline day for Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani's bid to purchase 100% of Manchester United. Now, his new bid, the fifth bid, went in earlier this week. It's difficult to say how much it is, but reportedly it's around £5.2 billion with that pledged $800 million, $1 billion, £800 million in investment, which adds up overall to £6 billion. But of course, the Glazers don't care about anything like that. All they care about is the money they're going to get. So the question becomes, Flex, today is the day, ultimatum day, deadline day, however you said it. What do you think can happen today? In your wildest imagination, is that your prediction?
Nothing. No, I think nothing happens today. I think what I think will happen is it will be nothing, but it'll be reported as something. Yeah,
right.
So I think it will be something expected over the weekend, not today. By close of play today, I don't think we'll know if Sheikh Jassim is gone or still here. Well, we'll assume he's still here because we won't know he's definitely gone. That's what I think.
So you think a bit like before when it's a case of like we wait all day going, I'm waiting for the story. I'm waiting for the Mike Keegan exclusive. I'm waiting for whoever it may be to drop their exclusive. And we're waiting. We're waiting. 6 o'clock. I guess it's going to be later. 7 o'clock comes and goes. Probably going to be one of those late night ones, sort of 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock goes and we go, so did he get any response? Was there anything you're expecting?
But a journalist,
zero.
I'm expecting zero. But like I said, a journalist or journalists, probably the people closest to it, Mike Keegan, Ben Jacobs or someone like that. Somebody will say, still no word today. Further development expected this time, or there will be a comment from because nothing's happened and they expected it to. Other people will say still no update, or it's as you were, still no preferred bidder, or something like that. They'll say something, but it won't be. So Sheikh Jassim, I keep saying that. Sheikh Jassim. I've been saying that the whole way through this thing. Honestly. So Sheikh Jassim, like it's just
and the thing is as well, we can't even take the mick out of KG then. If he's going to say David Gil, and we're going to start saying, Sheikh Jassim.
Yeah, but you can because he's just not pronouncing the thing right. He's saying the two. I'm getting it mixed up because you got Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sheikh Jassim. I'm just mixed up the names. He's just pronouncing clear Gil as Gil and calling David David. Like I'm just adding the title Sir. I'm getting a bit mixed up. I'm still saying the names right. Like that's like me saying Sheikh, or Jassim. You can't read it. Jassim or something. Just getting it completely wrong. It's just David Gill's the most English name you could probably have. Or where he's from.
Did you just say Gil?
Yeah, and he just tried to bat it off.
And he went. Yeah, David Gill. Let me land. Well, we can't land on that. That's poor landing.
And then he said it wrong again. Then he swapped it around to the first name, saying it wrong. But yes, Jake Jassim. It's like It's like KG calling him Jake instead of Sheikh. But anyway, yeah, I don't think there will be today. Sheikh Jassim didn't hear back from the Glazers. He has formally left the negotiations. The only person left at the table is Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That ain't happening today. That is not happening today.
And just for clarification, so we do offer, I think, importantly, both sides, the two main bidders. It's not just Sheikh Jassim, it's also Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, of course, his bid clearly remains the same as it once was, which is for 51% of Manchester United, rising to 69. He wants the majority share, the Glazers share. Now, how long it's going to take to get there? It looks like it could be over the course of several years. The reported bid is roughly around 5 billion. Eventually, it's going to get to that point. But again, when putting all of these graphics together, Josh doing the Joshness, as he always does, graphics guru, visual ninja, genius, wizard, magician, whatever you want to call him, actually getting some of the information together for all of those bids was difficult because there is a lot, Fleck, a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of sort of differing. I don't know the best way to describe it, but lots of different price points, lots of different currencies in all of it. And to your point, I guess it kind of expands on what you're saying is we might get to the end of today either not knowing anything or a bit of information might come out and we might go, I'm still none the wiser as to what's come out today. Like, you know, because remember, Sheikh Jassim, he said that he wants a response today. So he might get a response today. But it doesn't necessarily mean
no.
But yeah, or it might
or it could be a bit more.
Or the response might be, look, we appreciate you setting a deadline and an ultimatum, blah, blah, blah. We've received your offer. We're still considering it. This is our response. You know what I mean? So we, like, to your point, we might get to the end of today and it's a case of, yeah, they did respond, but still didn't really give too much away. And I've seen a lot of people, first of all, I saw a lot of people last night tracking flights. It's got to that stage.
Oh man, you know, when that starts happening,
Qatari executive flights landing in Heathrow. And then you type in Qatari executive flight on these things, there's loads of them. Okay, they're going all over the place. Okay, because
this is meant from around the world, mate.
Thousands of flights happen a day, and several come from Qatar to London or around the world. So it doesn't really matter about flights or anything like that. And we live in the day of technology where you don't even have to fly if you don't want to. So I wouldn't look too much into that. But I'm a bit like you, not so much leaning into we'll hear nothing. I have no idea what to expect today, honestly. Flex, not a clue. I couldn't tell you what I think will happen because every single time we felt like we've got somewhat of a handle on maybe where this is going, the opposite happens.
Do you know how you know it's quite loosely? Because we put it on our socials as well from Mike Keegan when he said, I think he said it yesterday. When did he say that? That was at 6 p.m. Was that the 8th? Yeah, yesterday. So Mike Keegan yesterday around 6 p.m. said, he tweeted, a conclusion over the Man United takeover process is likely in the coming days.
Yeah.
Well, then that could be Sunday.
Like
well, it doesn't mean it's now and today.
Yeah.
Like, and
everyone we've heard that before, Mike. Like this was going to be done by Easter. It's June. It's we're nearly a third of the way through June already. Like coming days. I mean, depending on how literally you take that, the coming days could be the end of the year. That's coming days. You know what I mean? You might as well just say in the future or eventually. So I think there is a lot of skepticism, but at the same time, I don't know. There might be some optimism as well. Hold that thought, Flex. Filibuster for just a second, because I think Ben Jacobs may have just tweeted. So just hold that thought.
What is Ben Jacobs going to say? Because again, people are going to come towards it. Oh, there have been what I understand to be in-depth conversations and direct conversations between the Glazers and the 9-2 Foundation as well. So Ben Jacobs is saying there have been what I understand to be, in Ben Jacobs' words, in-depth conversations and direct conversations between the Glazers and the 9-2 Foundation as well. That is quite significant from Ben Jacobs in terms of all of the reports that we've been hearing prior to this is that the contact between the two has not been good. The contact between the two has been limited. In fact, the Rain Group were actually pissed off with Sheikh Jassim because he just went round them and went directly to the Glazers.
Went over their heads.
went over their heads.
And he did that because he was frustrated. He said, "Oh, sick of dealing with these guys. Man, they're taking forever. They're longing this thing out. I'm just going to go straight to the Glazers and give them what they want, money." And then, like you said, I think it was Jamie Jackson. Jamie Jackson said it, didn't he? Saying, Ineos are talking with the Rain Group and the Glazers directly. Sheikh Jassim and the 9-2 Foundation, not so much. But now you've got Ben Jacobs saying, "Well, no, there have been conversations, direct, indirect." He also said, all signs point to the fact that the Glazers are actually getting both groups to get deep into this process. If they greenlight one of them, they'll be in a position, transactionally speaking, to move as fast as possible. I think that's why both groups have been in the dark for so long. So he's essentially saying there with this is that the reason that maybe they've taken so long is that whenever they decide which way they want to go, they can do it and it can all be done very quickly. But I just don't know if I believe it, Flack. I don't know if I believe.
If they greenlight one of them, they'll be in a position, transactionally speaking, to move as fast as possible. I think that's why both groups have been in the dark for so long. All signs point to the fact that the Glazers are actually getting both groups to get deep into the process. If they greenlight one, it means they can do it quickly. If they greenlight one of them. Look, I mean, it is significant from Ben Jacobs. It doesn't mean that that's 1,000,000,000% true, and now it means it's coming to an end and we're going to get an answer today. It doesn't change that, but it is a big line for him to go with. No one said that before. That is significant. I'll give him that because he's attached his name there to a real solid take on things or source of information or account of events that he's saying it's my understanding that the 9-2 Foundation are in deep conversations with the Glazers. That's not been reported. You can't speak to the 9-2 Foundation for love nor money, is what we've been told for most of the time. Do you know what I mean? So to hear that now there is a bit of a U-turn in terms of, because we were skeptical, it's like the Glazers have been talking to Sir Jim. That's been heavily reported. Sir Jim, front runner. Sir Jim's directly talking to the Glazers. We've known that for ages, which is what a lot of people's worry is versus Sheikh Jassim's camp not being involved in these discussions. But what these things can mean, though, is maybe all along they were talking. Maybe all along there was a line of communication. Because otherwise, if you think about it, actually, let's break this down. Why is Sheikh Jassim going to keep making bids if he's heard nothing from day dot? Like no communication. No one's got back to me. Have you accepted my first offer? Have you not accepted my first offer? I know I'm just going to keep bidding in the dark. That doesn't happen in business. Now I'm actually thinking about it. He can be frustrated with the process. I agree with that. He can be frustrated with how long it's taken. He can think it's a bit of a farce, but he's still there at the table making bids. So if I was trying to, buy something from you, Owen, and you just kept blanking me, I probably would leave the negotiations. I wouldn't keep bidding.
Yeah.
I'll just go, this guy's not serious. He's not picking up the phone. He's not responding to my WhatsApps. I've emailed him. I've sent him a fax. I've sent him a pigeon. Like, it's just nothing. So
which was an odd way to try and buy a house, actually, when you sent that pigeon over.
And I didn't get a pigeon back. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I just opened the window and
no bird came back to me. Nothing. So I just took it as he wasn't interested. So I'll see you later. If that happened, though, you wouldn't just keep bidding. And we're not talking about shrapnel.
We're talking a lot.
World record, big, like record number for a sports club, franchise, brand, entity, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm taking a step back and kind of just deciphering in my head on the spot. I'm like, actually, them stories that there's been no communication and Sheikh Jassim's fed up. It can't be zero communication. It can't be. It must be that it's just frustrating that it's taking too long and he has to keep bidding. But in terms of, I haven't heard from the Glazers / the Rain or Manchester United since my first bid. This is ridiculous. But he's on his 5th bid.
Yeah, you're right. He must clearly, or the 9-2 Foundation must have gotten at least some form of feedback. You know what I mean? Some kind of feedback, something to say that it's not high enough still, or
Yeah.
it's not in the ballpark of what we're looking for. You know what I mean? You don't just go, I haven't heard anything, I'll go again. I haven't heard anything, I'll go again. Like there must be some pretty immediate feedback as well. And look, you could have a situation whereby at least one of the bids, i.e. maybe the most recent bid, that is out of a case of frustration, and because he didn't hear anything, so we went, oh, screw it then. I know you want 6 billion. I'm going to give you a bit closer. Let's speed this thing up, because that's what it did feel like, didn't it? This last one was, I'm sick and tired of waiting forever. I'm sick and tired of maybe being in this process, like Ben Jacobs is saying there. I'm tired of knowing that myself and this other party are getting really deep into this process in the event that you can just decide, okay, I'm going to go in this direction. It feels like they're trying to make sure that they've got both hands strong, the Glazers, essentially. They maybe haven't made their full decision yet. And eventually, when they do make their decision, things can move quickly. Not for the sake of Manchester United, not for the sake of transfers, not for the sake of Erik ten Hag or whatever, for the sake of them, because they want the money quickly. They go, okay, whichever way we go, we can pick you and we can have our money tomorrow. The issue is, you could argue with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, having your money tomorrow might not be as smooth or as quick as certainly it will be with Sheikh Jassim, as they've mentioned. It's cash. Yeah. Cash. There you go. I'll get it in your bank account money, tomorrow. Mate. Or in an hour. No, imagine. The 5.2 billion has just gone in. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
I just went on my mobile banking app. I've just
gone on my internet banking. Yeah, it's in there. It's gone up. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Let's get some of the super chats out. Danny Luciano says, morning Flex and Owen. It's the members chat, sorry. Morning Flex and Owen. Happy Friday. Even if the Glazers took the total buyout, they wouldn't do it today. To show they still have the power. So he still thinks they're going to stall, says Daniel Luciano. WJ Barrett, always here every single day, always in the chat, always contributing. Really appreciate you, bro. Says, the problem is the Glazers not talking to the bidders. If you look at the wording, Altan states, take it or leave it by today, so they can negotiate. And to be fair, WJ Barrett put that at 8 minutes past 9. And since then, he's put that super chat. Since then, Ben Jacobs has actually come out to say that that isn't the case. So it'd be interesting to see what you think now, WJ Barrett, because I agree with you. That has been the reported problem this whole point. You know, the fact that we don't think that they're talking to the bidders, but actually Ben Jacobs is saying different. So let's see what your thoughts are on that. Ahil Jafta says, if the Glazers don't sell, what does the future look like for United? Is all lost for what Ten Hag wants to build? Will the people riot? Well, if the Glazers stay, it's awful. Yeah, because it's only going to get worse from here. They've bled every lot. Them even putting the club for sale, saying they want to cash in now, that tells you how bad the club has got. Because they were happy for 17 years to keep milking and milking and milking. It has literally got to a point where they can't do that anymore. So if they stay, where's the influx of cash coming from to take the club to the next step? Because it's got as far as it can in this possible version of itself. It has to change. It needs the injection of money for training ground, for stadiums, for infrastructure around Old Trafford, for transfers, for everything, for the whole package, for the women's team, for the youth teams, everything. It needs an injection of cash. Like Richard Arnold accidentally said when he basically had a gun to his head. Like, you know, how did Daniel Levy do that at Spurs? Well, he got an injection of cash. That's what needs to happen from somewhere. And if the Glazers stay,
sponsors.
We need sponsors,
investors, which is basically
investors,
what he's saying.
Yeah. And Daniel Levy done a bloody good job of that. You got to rate him for that, Daniel Levy, for sure. Look what he's got Spurs, you know. On the field, they're shit, but off it, they are fantastic. Beyonce's just there right now, selling out the stadium, making it a place. Who would want to go to see anything that had to do with Spurs? You're not going to go on the museum tour, are you? You're not. If you go to London, like when you go to Barcelona or when you go to Spain, as a tourist, if you're into sports a little bit, even if you're not, need to get to the new camp, need to see the history, need to get to the
Colosseum. You know, it's a Colosseum. I've got to go there. You know what I mean?
You need to go there. I don't care what the hell is going on. I could be on a romantic break. I could be doing this. I'm going Bernabeu, or I'm going thing. If you come to England, the big clubs, you want to go Man United, check out the museum. You want to go Liverpool, see what they've won. You even want to go Arsenal if you're in a London club. Be Chelsea. Like, not as much as, I know it's a bit thing, but you know, my point is, nobody says I want to go to London and I need to go to Tottenham.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Nobody. But now they do. Do you know what? There's people who know nothing about football, but they're going there because of Beyonce. They're going there because there's an AJ fight. They're going there because the F1 or the NFL is going to be there. They now have an excuse to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which Daniel Levy has made. So back to it was back to the original super chat of what would Man United look like. The Glazers have bled it dry. It would be doomed. It would be doomed if the Glazers stay. It really would. Shahil says, guys, have you seen a report where it says the Prem officials were concerned about the way Sir Jim was looking to buy with the bank's money rather than his own, and that would be considered illegal? I didn't see that. You see anything on that, Owen?
No, I didn't see anything like that. But I mean, the thing is with the Premier League, anything in terms of the Premier League stepping in for anything, any bids or any whatever, I have no faith in anymore in terms of their decision making for anything.
No,
I saw a thing saying that automated offside, they don't want to do it next season. I think I think that might be the PGMLO. Have decided they don't want to do automated offside next seasons. Why? Because it works. Like, it actually works. We've seen that, haven't we? Saw at the World Cup, that automated offside, quickly done, blah, blah, blah. Their response is, we're going to have more cameras for VAR next season.
Yeah, and they turned down the thing to be able to do it how the World Cup does it, didn't they?
That's what I mean. That's what they did. They turned that down. And again, why? Because it actually works.
Yeah.
We've seen it in all of these competitions. And you know when it's super quick and they go, how did they do that? And they show the replay and you go, oh yeah, he was offside. That was quick.
Yeah, that technology is brilliant because it's just literally got this fake wall. And if someone just goes through it a little bit, you know that they're off. It's brilliant.
Yeah. But instead, they said their rationale for, but that definitely works. We've seen that work. Yeah. We're going to put more cameras in next season. So
yeah, let's give more angles of tightness where the guy can't or the woman can't decide. Let's do that.
Or that point where, again, you can draw those lines, but you go, that looks a bit difficult. Because even when you draw the lines, sometimes they start zooming in on the footage and the footage gets so blurry. You go, I don't actually know. Is that right? And they draw that other dotted line going down.
Mad.
I think it's right. Well, maybe why wouldn't you just automate that? Automate that, guaranteed it's right.
Almost like the goal line decisions. The rest just has to go, goal.
Imagine those goal line decisions. They go, we don't want to have goal line technology. What we want to have is a camera, more cameras on the goal line, and then we'll give it back to someone to take a look at and go, yeah, I think that's over. That is so ridiculous. It's just it's a disgrace and it's a cheat flag.
It is a disgrace and it is a cheat. WJ Barrett says, what you just said makes sense, Flex. And WJ Barrett also says, it's mad how we are just deep in this now. Saying out loud makes sense, as if Altans is bidding with no communication and saying, hold that 5 times. Well, exactly. It is crazy how we're just saying it now. It just struck me, like, during and maybe, again, business people, other people who have just stayed calm throughout this whole process said, listen, there's obviously stuff going on because they're all still at the table. And that is the truth of it. Sir Jim and Sheikh Jassim, like, they're all still here bidding. So they've obviously got a level of communication.
Breaking news, Fleck. Breaking news. We have a rogue KG. We have a rogue KG, the comedian's called in. KG.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hi, guys. I'm just calling in because I thought I should share my good feeling. I think it's going to happen. I don't know. Woke up this morning and I'm like, we're going to get Qatar. I don't know where they're coming from. I just feel like it's just vibes, and more times, the vibes are usually right. I think this is the one.
So,
is that a voice note or is this live?
This is live.
He's on the phone. He's actually on the phone.
He's on the phone.
So you just woke up and just felt that it's going to be.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah. I have to relay the message from Fleck. Yeah. Fleck says, so you've got no sources on that. You've just decided.
Yeah, just like everyone else in the media, though. If you think about it, all the talking heads, they don't know. Everyone's just getting what we're feeling and stuff. So I'm saying that I woke up this morning and I was like, we're going to get Qatar. It's going to happen. With Sheikh Jassim is going to be the new owner of Man United. So yeah, just thought I should just call in and put that out there.
Ask him if he thinks he'll go back to, because you know that Sheikh Jassim said he'll bring back like old people and all that. Ask him if he thinks he'll bring David Gil in.
Do you think then, given that obviously he said he'd bring back, old Manchester United favourites, ex-players, people that have been successful, do you think there's a chance he brings back David Gil?
I thought that because Flex messed up that whole Sheikh Jassim bit in the beginning.
Oh, see, I said he would say that as well. Flex, he said,
but it's not the same. It's cute,
Jake,
but it's not the same.
Jake
Nice
Jassim.
Nice try.
Yeah, it was really, it's crazy. At least I was talking about that today at the time.
It's not the same. I just misused the title called Sir. It wasn't. I didn't get the names wrong.
You know, like it's one of those ones. Yeah, these Glazers, and I know we've said this over and over again, but they're greedy so and so. Yeah, and when you're a greedy guy, yeah, you're not thinking about later. You're thinking about the now and how much money can you get now. These guys have been egging on the Qatari group, 90 Foundation, for so long. They've been telling them another bid. You're almost there. Another bid. If they were so happy with Sir Jim, they would announce Sir Jim is the guy. But they keep going back to those because there must be a reason why they keep handing another bid. You must feel that you're getting closer, right? They must be telling them something. You know, like when we do negotiations with certain players, right? It's like, well, how is this happening? Why do we keep putting in bids if there's going to be no deal? Like the Frankie de Jong one was a bit weird. But I'm just saying they must have been given some like a green light for them to keep trying, is what I'm saying. So I feel that deep down, they really want that quick money from Qatar, and Sir Jim is Jim's that backup plan just in case.
Yeah,
but
which is why they're also keeping him ready as well, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just because you 5 bids. Like after the second one, you think, what did you not say to them guys for them to feel that they should bid again? Which is like, guys, I'm telling you now. Yeah, Sir Jim's just said something, and they just want to make the money and run. These guys want to take the money and run, and don't be surprised. Like I'm not surprised by the things that Ben Jacobs and Keegan have just come out and said that there should be an end to this, because I think that probably is the Glazers' response to the call out, really. To say, hey guys, all right.
By the way, KG, I don't mean to interrupt because you're getting really, really in depth with this and really sort of deep thinking on this. I've just got this image in my head of you standing at the Tesco bakery saying all of this. I was gonna say, and yeah, thanks for calling in. Any good offers on today in Tesco while you're there?
Oh yeah, there's loads. Alpro, you now only have almond milk. That's if you got a club card, you can get that for $135.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of other club card deals that is available as well. Croissant.
Croissant.
Oh yeah. Anyway, that was all I was calling to say. I think, guys, let's get Phil excited, because I think it's coming. It's coming to an end, innit? And I think we're gonna get the ending that we all want. I feel that. But hey, let's see.
There you go. Positivity from Mr. the Comedian this morning.
Big up.
Right, speak to you later.
Big up. I will say this. That last bit he said, I do feel like it is coming to a close. I stand by what I say today. Well, it's not going to be today. I do feel like it is coming to an end. Do you? Do you feel like it is wrapping up? It is a 5th bid. Like maybe there might be a 6th, but do you feel it's coming to an end more so than it ever has done? Or do you think it's still...
I don't know.
You don't have an extra feeling of any form of closure?
No, because I thought that before when it came 3rd and final round, and that was like 6 weeks ago or longer than that. So part of me feels it is wrapping up because it's almost like it has to now. You can only drag something out for so long, you know what I mean? But with this whole process, Flex, I've kind of I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked, like I said, get to the end of the day or get to Friday next week and we go, what was meant to, what about that ultimatum then? And then it didn't happen. So yeah, I don't know.
If you are just joining us, smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you are just joining us, here's a little update from Ben Jacobs, which is what we've been discussing for the last sort of 15 minutes or so. Well, 13 minutes because about 15 minutes. Ben Jacobs says there have been what I understand to be in-depth conversations and direct conversations between the Glazers and the 9-2 Foundation. He also goes on to say all signs point to the fact that the Glazers are actually getting both groups to get deep into this process. If they greenlight one of them, they'll be in a position to, transactionally speaking, to move as fast as possible. Basically, go deep into the negotiation process with both parties, which hasn't been reported. and that they're basically, if they greenlight one of them, they can almost flick a switch and basically get the transaction moving very quickly. It doesn't state, and this is what we have to clear out, it doesn't state that there is a favorite. It doesn't say Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the favorite, though. And it doesn't say that Sheikh Jassim is the favorite. It just says that the line of communication to both actually is fair, is equal, and is deep, is into deep into the process, is what the term that Ben Jacobs used.
And also, it must be said as well, Mike Keegan in his Q&A yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before that, did say that as far as they heard, at the moment, there was no preferred bidder. There was no front runner. And obviously, after today, given ultimatums and stuff, that could change. But as of right now, there's no information to say that one person is leading the race. Just to both say that they're both still deep in the process. And I guess they're still both confident, which is what they've been saying throughout the entirety of this process too.
Yes. Before we move on, topic-wise, we're going to carry on with the super chats. Ray Carl Brown says, I'm sensing Jassim. He's sensing Jassim. Hopefully you're right. Marcus S says, firstly, for Ratcliffe to work, he needs 5 billion, 3 for the Glazers, 1 for the stadium, and 1 for squad and facilities. The interest will be huge. And he needs money to be able to buy them out in a few years as well, which is what his plan is. Amir says, KG Solokol calling in sources. Calling in to give his opinion, just like Carvey would at Sky.
That's what we need to do. We need to, Josh, that's the next thing you need to do. You need to get a call-in graphic.
Yeah.
Whenever he calls in.
Yes,
whenever,
yes,
you know, when
yes,
like on
yes,
Sky and they
yes,
call in, they say Carvey on the phone, and they got the thing. We need
it's got a picture of KG looking that
he does that because he does that a lot. He does that a lot when he's in Tesco, you know what I mean? Picture of KG in Tesco, you know. Whatever.
And we can do it for actually a lot of members of the UV crew. We can make one for Minna, make one for Marcel. If he doesn't believe in time, but he might just one time think,
he definitely doesn't believe in phones as well.
He might not believe in phones, but get one for Cam, just ringing in, going crazy about De Gea for no reason. That'd be fun. Ahmed says Kev Tradamus. Big up Ahmed Dosham. And Azian has been a member for 1 month. Thank you to you. Says I've lost it. Qatar really due to be in. How can Rat Boy invest in Stadium, Carrington, women's team, youth team with this loan? What's he going to do? Loan more money? And that's the biggest concern about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because of what he's bidding for, and his plan to buy out the Glazers in due course. V33 says, richest man in Britain needs 2 loans to buy Man United. Putting Manchester back in Manchester, and the Rat keeps those Glazer swines around. It's that Rat. Is the Rat senile? WJ Barrett says, KG waking up feeling Qatari as his source is mad. However, he is talking sense, and what I have said from day one. Why allow 5 bids and not just accept Ratcliffe? And Lil Yo-Yo says, everybody's got a price. Ted DiBiase settings. Is that what Ted DiBiase used to say?
Everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a price.
For the $1 million man. And he laughs.
Oh, yeah, the $1 million man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Owen, wait, hold on. Waking up. New members chat as well. Oh, new member, actually. Big up Marcus S, latest member of the UV members crew. We've spent nearly 35 minutes doing that. So we're going to pick up the pace. We're going to pick up the pace through the remaining topics. What we got, Owen?
Yes, before that, though, we are nearly at 2,400 people watching live, only 337 likes. Let's get it to 500, 750, even 1K live. In 25 minutes, anything is possible. But we are going to talk about Harry Kane. Let's talk about Harry Kane, because according to reports from Spain, Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy refuses to sell Harry Kane to Manchester United. Real Madrid reportedly are working on a deal and hope to sign him for around 80 million euros. But according to those reports, Daniel Levy is saying, nope, I refuse to sell my star striker to a Premier League rival. That's kind of, to be honest, what we already had kind of assumed, haven't we, with Kane, is that if he's going to get sold this summer, which is a big if in general, because Daniel Levy still might just be like, look, it's not happening. We've got one chance left to qualify for the Champions League with him. We're going to try it next season with Ange Postecoglou. But if he were to sell him, he would most likely go to Real Madrid, but he refuses to sell to United. Does that surprise you at all when you see something like that?
No, we won't need to spend long on the Harry Kane section, because it's like, we know this. We know that Daniel Levy don't want to sell to us. We know that if Real Madrid put down 100 and something million pounds and we do, he's going to accept Real Madrid and not us. That's just what Daniel Levy is going to be on. And again, I reiterate, I don't think Harry Kane is going to agitate too much. I don't think he's going to put his foot down. I don't think he's going to upset the apple cart and say, listen, I want to get out of here, and unless you make that happen, I'm not coming back. I don't think he's going to do that. So I think Kane stays at Spurs. I still don't even think he wants that Real Madrid challenge, which is crazy. He should go and do that, absolutely. But I think he stays at Spurs. I really, really do. I really, really do.
Yeah, I said that from quite early on, actually, to be fair. I know I've gone back and forth a little bit on United's real attempt to push it through, but something in me just always felt like everyone talks about how, I say shrewd, or how difficult Daniel Levy is to negotiate with. But I think even when we say that, we almost underestimate him. This is in terms of negotiating with this man. And my feeling is he's just going to run the risk of saying, look, if we get rid of Harry Kane, nobody we get in, regardless of how much money we're given by even United, which would be over 100 million, or Real Madrid, maybe close to 100 million, we will never be able to properly reinvest that in a player that actually could do the business for us like Harry Kane could. No. And for Ange Postecoglou to stand a chance of qualifying for the Champions League this coming season, he has to have Harry Kane. And I think they're going to roll the dice and they're going to gamble and hope that they have this season that nobody was expecting. And because of that, he decides, yeah, I'm going to finish my career at Spurs. But I think even in Daniel Levy's heart of hearts, he would know that's probably very, very, very unlikely. But I think he'll probably take the risk anyway.
Yeah, and this is something that Ange Postecoglou doesn't even have any say over. Like, he's so new to the club. He'll sit down with Harry Kane and say, of course, I want you to hopefully stay. But Harry Kane is so big at Spurs, no disrespect to Ange. It's out of his hands. Whatever Harry Kane and Daniel Levy decide, they'll tell Ange later. It's that. He's like, I'm in the dark. I don't know if I'm going to have Harry Kane. It's between them. Like, he's a GOAT at this club. He's a legend. He's the highest ever goal scorer. So obviously it goes without saying that I want him to stay. That's silly. Obviously any manager would. But he ain't in control of none of it. It's between Daniel Levy and Harry Kane's camp. And I just don't think much is going to come of it. I really don't. I don't think much is going to come of it. David Raya price too high.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about David Raya next, a possible goalkeeping target for United. According to Sky Sports, Man United and the aforementioned Spurs are reluctant to pay the £40 million fee being demanded by Brentford for David Raya. Both clubs are interested in the keeper and signing him this summer, but as of right now, there has actually been no contact with Brentford for the Spanish international. When it comes to also United looking for a goalkeeper, according to Sky Sports, United do want two top goalkeepers competing. David De Gea, of course, is not assured to be number one at the club. It's interesting that not only Man United, but also Spurs are saying 40 million is too much for David Raya. What do you think about that price? Is that fair for him, or could we get less for?
Is he in his last year of his contract?
I believe so, yes.
Maybe that must be why they're saying it. That definitely is why they're saying it. Mason, I know it's different positions, English, all of that. Mason Mount, though, Chelsea is saying that, you know, he's 70 million, which is stupid in his last year of the contract. David Raya, number one starter at Brentford. He's done quite well, 40 million last year of his deal, though. Maybe you could get it down to like 35, 30.
Spanish international as well, certainly.
Spanish international, but I think, again, it's the team that's going to lose him and what that player is to that team. To probably be in his last year of his deal. Am I frozen?
You froze for a second there, Fleck. You're back.
Oh, I'm back. Okay, weird. Don't know what's happened there. But yeah, I feel like he should be about 30 million, really. But I think the tax of who he is to Brentford is probably about right. I don't blame them for putting 40 on him personally.
No, I don't. I mean, because probably they're thinking, out of all the players we've got, I mean, when you've got, no disrespect to Brentford, but when they've got like a Spanish international goalkeeper, they still want to be like, oh, we want to get our money's worth. But at the same time, year left on his contract, and by all accounts, everyone's known that David Raya's leaving this summer. We've known for ages, haven't we? I mean, they were widely discussing it every time he played in the Premier League for the last 6 or 9 months, expected to go in the summer. And given our sort of goalkeeping situation, when you've got a solution right there, you know the price, you know everything's there ready to go, it can be somewhat infuriating. But as we spoke about previously with the goalkeeping situation at United, everything does kind of hinge on David De Gea, doesn't it? And this new contract, and when they decide to sign it off, and ultimately what they decide to do, and Dean Henderson. As I said before, it all feels like this is one big sort of domino chain, isn't it? You know, David de Gea he's already put pen to paper nearly. It's United to waiting to sign it off. But then that gets announced. Henderson gets sold, which could then facilitate possibly David Raya. I don't know. And then after all of that, as we spoke about for nearly 40 minutes today, then the takeover stuff with budgets. It's all kind of, I get the impression there's a lot of maths going on at the moment, Flex.
Yeah.
In terms of, you know what I mean? How much have we got? If we get this person for this amount, can we whittle this person down a little bit lower? You know, can we fit them all in?
It's a massive puzzle to solve.
Yeah, my only hope is they don't spend too long trying to solve it and then end up getting nobody because they took too long trying to figure out prices.
And that's the other part of the puzzle where you've got this really ambitious, you know, strong, driven manager in Eric that knows what he wants, has known what he wanted for, you know, Eric Ten Hag wouldn't have just got to the end of this season now as the season closed and he give him the list. That list has been done. Eric, you know, obviously in transfer windows, like we saw with Casemiro, things change during a window. So you sit and talk about things then at the drop of a hat. That's how transfer windows work. You have to be open and ready for opportunities to seize on things and opportunities that arise. But essentially, you've got your actual plan of the type of players that you want and actual names. So this isn't new. So you've got to balance the ambition from the manager who wants everything done and wants it now, wants players on tour, unlike last year when we only had one. You've got people like Richard Arnold, John Murtough, who are trying to speak to agents and speak to clubs and get quotes for deals and stuff, but they don't really know how much they've got to offer versus what they don't have to offer. It is a mess. It is a mess. And it is actually, I know that they haven't had a lot of credit for a long time, especially Richard Arnold, and I understand that. But the constraints of which all the United staff, not just those two, all of them have to work in is really bad. It's really bad because there's no stability. You can't. The one thing you have to offer up is stability, and you can't nail it down and say it is this or it isn't that. You know, you have to go off business as usual. I get that. So it's still going to the Glazers and saying, "Can you sign that off? Can you sign that off? Give me a couple of weeks because I'm actually trying to sort this out. I'm trying to maybe sign it off to Sheikh Jassim or sign it off to Sir Jim. Like, come back to me in a bit. I don't know. It's stalling. It's all delegating and delaying stuff, which is hard when you want to get stuff done quickly. So, yeah. And another thing about back to Raya, I think the feeling amongst the fans could be, if we're going to spend 40 million on David Raya, could you not find an extra 15 million and tempt Porto to sell Diogo Costa then? You know, because that's 60 million euros.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. And also, you've got two goalkeepers there, David Raya, Diogo Costa, keepers that fans want, clearly Ten Hag likes, the club like. They're both available. And I always say this with the transfers, don't I, that, you know, there is always a pool of players that are available, and they're both in there this summer. They are fully up for grabs. So if they do go elsewhere, that's on United because they were available to be signed this year. And particularly someone like David Raya, we had a price. We knew they wanted. Brentford have already signed a replacement goalkeeper. That's already done.
Yeah, they know they're losing him. Yeah.
There's no way that he doesn't move this summer. So maybe that's also what United are thinking. Maybe United look at it and say, I know you've bought a goalkeeper. There is no way he stays. So maybe we do wait a little bit. Or maybe they do a bit of a Chelsea and they say, let's see eventually what offer Spurs go in for. Because if Spurs are saying we don't want to do 40 million and they're going with 35, then United go, we'll do 35. Or we'll do 36 or something really tedious like that. I know, but in this summer, when we don't know a lot about budgets, we don't know a lot about takeovers, every penny and pound really does count to United. So if Spurs go in with a lower offer, they might just go a little bit higher, and then maybe that secures him. And maybe they go, well, see, that's why we didn't go in at 40 million, because we can get him cheaper. We know we can. So that might be their strategy with that one too.
Yeah. Watch this space on that one. Mixed feelings about David Raya. He is good. He's not. I don't know if he's as good as everyone says he is. Like, he's decent with his feet. He's a good shot stopper. Is he an upgrade on De Gea? I'd say yes.
In terms of the distribution.
No the shot stopping, I know we've said it, the shot stopping with David De Gea recently, it's like he's doing things that other keepers can do, and he's making mistakes that other keepers don't make. So shot stopping, to label that a De Gea, actually, to be fair, if we're being honest with ourselves, isn't the top attribute it once was in this moment.
It's
anyway,
consistency as well, isn't it? It's, De Gea, obviously on his day, shot stopping is still one of the best in the world, but it's consistency.
I'm not seeing David Raya make clangers, really.
No,
I'm not
really.
I'm not.
Not to the level that De Gea is doing it. You know what I mean? There might a goal might go and you go, I think he should save that, but not like West Ham, not like
every single keeper has like you will know as a keeper. Every single keeper, every single player, every single football player will make mistakes. Should have scored, bad touch, gave away the ball, then they scored as a centre back, or should have headed it out and you didn't. Ball went over your head. You didn't know that someone was blindside of you. Like mistakes. That's why goals happen. Usually, very rarely is a goal just, oh my God, no one could have done anything about that. It's usually a mistake in the build-up from somebody. That's how goals happen. That's football. But like you said, at the rate that David De Gea was making them and the significance of those mistakes, I'm looking around and other keepers aren't really doing it. So David Raya would be somewhat of an upgrade, but also we always got to take into account, which I know we need to be patient with, the upgrade of any of these keepers coming to Manchester United. We have to factor that in, which a lot of people are saying, fine, happy for them to be a bit ropey in their first year because it's Man United, but it has to be a new keeper. It has to be.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Amrabat interest. I like this story. I like this. It is
an
interesting
one.
Yeah,
certainly. Regarding Sofiane Amrabat, of course, the Moroccan international, his brother Nordine has been talking to ESPN and saying that he says, quote, I know Ten Hag is charmed by my brother. He broke through under him and they have a good relationship, so who knows? Now, it must be said, he also then talks about other clubs being interested in, not specifically Manchester United or anything like that. Oh, look at the flex. Our thing's disappeared. What's happened there?
What's disappeared? Oh.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happened there.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Indeed.
Our boxes have gone.
Our boxes have gone. Let me see if I can fix this. Oh, we're back.
The boxes.
They're back. Well,
we're back. Yeah.
No.
But we're frozen. Oh.
No, we're back. We're back. We're back.
Oh.
Yeah, we're catching up. Yeah. That was weird. Yes.
The overlay just went.
It just says, well, I don't want to play games anymore. I don't want to talk about Amrabat. There you go.
Bring back the boxes, says Malps.
Yeah, disgrace cheats. Again, his brother, talking to ESPN, said, my brother now has the intention to play in the top, preferably in Spain or England, I think. But it must be stressed. There's no concrete Manchester United are definitely interested in Amrabat or anything like that.
Yeah, this is brother just being smart with words, isn't it? Clearly, he's in the shop window. Clearly, they want a big fee for him. They want to get him out of there. He's obviously highly tipped. And his brother's just, dropping little things out there into the media to get clubs talking, to get clubs on red alert. That's what you do. I don't know if his brother's his agent or anything, but
probably most likely.
Yeah, the way he's talking is you don't normally talk about your brother like that. And if Amrabat wants to keep that quiet and didn't want that out there, his brother's not going to go and say that, So it's obviously off good authority. Amrabat's camp are trying to drive up a price for him and get some interest in him and get some bids in for him. But just away from the smartness of his brother, which we've got to take with a pinch of salt. It doesn't mean we're in for him. But I do like Amrabat. I do like Amrabat. Like he is good. And actually got to see him because I've done pretty much all of them. Well, you saw I was following the Moroccans throughout the World Cup. That was like my assignment. Robbie was doing Argentina. I think Alex did a lot of Spain. But I definitely had the Moroccans from kind of beginning to end. And I watched him in every game he played, and he was brilliant. He really, really was good. And actually, what I was surprised about him is actually how good he is on the ball. He's not like just a brute. I know because he's got the shaven head and he's quite stocky. He can kind of give off the vibe of like a shithouse, just going around kicking people. He's not. Yeah. He's actually really good on the ball. He's really mobile. He's got a great engine, and he's a good dictator of play. He's got a great switch of play. And again, I know the quality you could argue was quite low between Fiorentina and West Ham for large parts, but he shone. Declan Rice didn't really shine. I mean, he admitted it himself. I think Mark Noble said it as well. Declan didn't have his best game. They don't give a shit about that on the cut. They don't. But he said they've done a job. They've done a job on Declan Rice. Really, he couldn't really get on the ball. And Amrabat. I know it's clashes of styles though, because Fiorentina, one of the highest possession teams in Serie A, versus someone like West Ham. The game plan was always going to go like that. I'm not saying that he's better than Declan Rice, but if you're talking about an alternative and one that's achievable and price-wise, profile-wise, I'd have Amrabat in our team. Would you?
Yeah, I do recall in January there were talks about him, weren't there? After the World Cup, because he had such a strong World Cup, and wasn't he going to go to Barcelona, something like that? And then I think
he
it
was on
fell
the list,
through, maybe as well. So no, I would have him certainly. I mean, like you said, I think maybe it does him a bit of a disservice when people say, "Oh, he's just like a shithouse ball winner midfielder," because I think he's more than that, and I think he proved that. If anything, when in that Europa Conference League final. Again, not to disrespect West Ham or Fiorentina, but watching him in there, I went, I think he's better than this game. You know what I mean? I think he's better than like this team that he's in. Like Fiorentina, you know, I thought like he's a class above here. Honestly, you know, that was kind of my thoughts. I don't know what you thought about that.
Yeah. No, I agree. You looked at it and thought I've seen him playing the World Cup against the biggest teams. I've seen him do it, and he was fantastic. I was in there. Lo 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 lo. Dima Maghreb. You know what I mean? I was there.
Well, I saw you.
Zeet. I was there, mate.
I saw you, dancing around. Was it the Morocco one where you were dancing, heading into the stadium? You had the drum and you had the face paint on and all that kind of stuff. Was that Morocco?
Yeah, that was Morocco. Yeah. I was there. Morocco against Belgium as well. When we put out Kevin De Bruyne and them, man. Oh, it was like a home. Every game was a home game for Morocco. It was crazy. And being with the fans afterwards, partying, it was so sick. So I'd love to. I've got my Moroccan shirt actually in my drawer. If he comes, I would love a Moroccan to come to Manchester United. Would it be the first Moroccan to play for? Have we had any Moroccans before? There's a bit of trivia.
Gosh. I mean, unless there's like, you know,
like way back, but in our era of football.
Well, I was going to say, unless there's some like youth player that I can't recall off the top of my head.
No, but a genuine first team player. Someone in the chat will know because this is what always happens with trivia. That would be the first, wouldn't it? I don't think we've had a Moroccan ever play for Man United. Yeah, Lil Yo, no, he'd be the first, yeah.
Yeah, it must be.
Fellaini was Belgian, yeah.
Yeah.
None, yeah. So there you go. Would I take Hakimi over Dallo and Wan-Bissaka? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, actually, I'll be honest though.
There's baggage, obviously.
Yeah, I ain't really trying to co-sign. I just remembered that actually. I don't really co-sign man that are involved in them kind of things and are proven to be guilty, but that's a whole different bag. But ability-wise, of course. Fellaini was originally from Morocco. Yeah, but he's Belgian. We need thoroughbred Moroccans and Hannibal. No, he's Tunisian, isn't he?
Yeah, Tunisia.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see. We shall see. Where are we at? We are at 507 likes. Just under 2.5K watching live as well, which is amazing. Everybody. Mark S. I said that. John Wayne. Not Bruce Wayne. John Wayne.
John Wayne, famous film star. You know John Wayne, 100%.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. We had to remind Flex this morning who Rick Mill was, and then he saw him and went, "Oh, I know who he is."
Yeah, just didn't know by name, but knew by face. Yeah. Welcome to the Members Club, John Wayne. And Durain has been a member for 4 months as well. Says less than 9K from reaching 150K subscribers. Love the growth of this channel. Honestly, guys, 150K would be a massive milestone for us. Like you say, less than 9K away now. With the road to 150 is on. Let's get us there. Hopefully over tour and stuff like that, all the great content we do, all the new places we'll reach, all the new demographics we'll reach, and people seeing the channel for the first time out there in the States, etc., would be amazing if we could. I mean, I think last year, we looked at how we grew across tour and the summer last year. We grew by 10K, which was insane. So if we could do that this year,
it was great last year.
Yeah, it was
so much fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, so much fun. So if we could have another season, summer like that, then we could be coming back and starting the new season with 150K. I imagine how exciting that would be. The Joker said, "I'll never forgive you, Fleck, if Jim buys United."
He says this every day. Every day.
I always say,
comes out.
Maybe you are a Joker. You are the Joker, aren't you? You really are the Joker. Joker, it's not to do with me, and you know this. You know this, bro. Come on. And lastly, Mason Mount, 70 million price.
Yeah, a bit of an
They ain't
update on
getting
Mason
it.
Mount
Let's
as
go on.
well. Yeah, I was going to say, David Ornstein did a really good piece actually with 5 yesterday, a really good video. I'd recommend it to check it out. He gave an update on Mason Mount, the takeover situation, and just other football stuff if you're interested, other transfers, because it's always good to know the market. And he said that Chelsea's expectation is to receive a fee of £70 million plus 10 million in add-ons for Mason Mount. Manchester United hope they can compromise at 55 million. So once again, reaffirming that Chelsea want 70 million up front plus 10 million in add-ons for Mason Mount with 1 year left on his deal. That's criminal.
Yeah, we can't pay that.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Can't. And I know United want to find a compromise at 55, but actually it leads to the point, Flex, that when do United get to a point then when they say, actually, you know what? Like, if you're going to be like that, we'll find someone else. Like, I know, Mason, you've got your heart set on it, but if you're going to piss around like that, and maybe have a word with Mason and say, you know what, have a word with Chelsea because we'll walk
Maddison
away.
would be 50, wouldn't he now?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe like that. Yeah, I mean, Tielemans is free. He's not my favourite cup of tea, but he's free. I'd have him in the squad for free, Tielemans, definitely. For free.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't pay much money for him, like massive money for him, but for free, I would have Yuri Tielemans in my squad.
In addition to getting like 2 more midfielders.
100%. That's what I mean, because he's free. Because he's actually free, I'd just chuck him in. Like we did with Eriksen last year. I'd just chuck him in. He's free. I know it's wages and that, but on a free, I'd definitely take him. And actually, just a bit of breaking news from TalkSport being reporting about Harry Maguire this morning. They said several clubs have taken an interest in Maguire, including Tottenham and Villa, but Maguire wants to stay at Man United and fight for his place. Tottenham have been linked with Maguire, but the 30-year-old is reluctant to give up his position at Old Trafford just yet. Maguire is not keen on departing the club this summer, despite being ostracised from the starting 11. Now, KG spoke about, well, actually, it's not out yet, so I can't spoil that. No, I can't spoil that. You question the mentality then if, he doesn't want to give up his position. He doesn't want to give up his position as 5th choice centre-back. And this is what we're saying about contracts and, playing for Man United. When you're at the top, the only way's down from there for a lot of players. You want to stay there as long as possible, even if it means fighting for your place. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. I can't see him staying. I'm convinced that Harry Maguire won't want another season like last season, and I'm certain that if he stays, he will have another season like last season, if not worse, where he hardly get any games because we're going to get another centre back. And Gareth Southgate will start not picking him soon, and then he'll really feel it.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't leave now, it's only going to get to January, and he's out of favour. It means that when we get back, there's I think it's September, October, November. There's 3 international breaks. That means what? He's not going to get picked in that. Then leading up to January, he's going to go anyway. So I don't know.
Well, and also as well, as we mentioned previously, there is a European Championships next summer, isn't there? So if Harry Maguire doesn't move, then he's essentially saying to himself that I think that I can play in a European Championship squad without playing another season at United because he won't play this season. And if I was Gareth Southgate, I'd pick up the phone to him and say, mate, it's one thing for me to do it, in this summer when I don't have to pick you or coming out or heading into a World Cup because it was too tight and we didn't know what was going to happen with you last summer. And you did start the season technically with United. So I can pick you for the World Cup, but you didn't play for the rest of the season. And heading into a European Championship next summer, if we qualify, of course, I can't pick you for that if you haven't played all year. I can't.
The guy's going, you can.
It's like, no, I cannot do
that.
That
is literally what would happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watch this space on that. I mean, TalkSport obviously with a pinch of salt. You never know, but I don't know. I just can't see how Maguire fancies himself, man. Maguire's saying I should be playing. Is he going to say I'll take playing again and be 4th, 5th centre back? Behind Victor Lindelof, behind Luke Shaw, behind whoever the new guy that comes in is, whether it's Kim Min-jae or Disasi, whoever it is. I don't know, man. I can't see it. Lil Yo-Yo says, please bring Owen out the cupboard and on tour. Well, Texas is going to be...
If I went in the sunshine of tour, could you imagine? Oh, my goodness.
You'd make it back. Yeah, you'd have to be covered the whole time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching today, guys. Really appreciate it. Great interaction as usual. Another fantastic morning show. We'll be across, obviously. We'll be across and ready to go live at the drop of a hat if there's any developments following the deadline day of the takeover. Follow him, Sheikh, Jassim, or Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We will be across it today. I'll bring you any news that we get just as we go out the door. Chinio, thank you for your super chat and your super chat as well on your night of view. Really, really appreciate that. So, yes, guys, we're out of here. Take care. See you again. Hopefully today with some good news. Hopefully we do see you again with some good news. And hopefully we don't see you again with bad news. Do you know what I mean? Or it could just be as you were, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. But yeah, we'll be across it all. Take care, guys. Peace.